Alright, we are recording Continuing Titan Quest 2, which finally got, well, content update to 6, then known as the summons update. So, yeah, we got that and a whole bunch of other changes. Yeah. Some, okay, some, not so okay. Because I have looked at them a little bit on that character. One in particular, I hope the community complains more about than I've seen. I know there's been some complaint, but there should be more, a lot more. Okay, and it's right here. In fact, I've already made some changes, but yeah, we now have 2 less skill slots. Now, I understand their reasoning, but that doesn't mean it's, well, for one thing, their reasoning is faulty, and I can demonstrate that. But it's also just, I think it's stupid. Anyway, I'm like, I think it's stupid, and then say, oh, well, we have this reason. Okay, but your reason is also false. Here's why. So what they've done is they've moved sustained abilities into here, which, by the way, they also took away points. I'm trying to remember, did I have any? And also, so yeah, they dropped 2 skill slots. I don't remember if I actually said that or not. So from 10, we're now down to just 8. Oh, wait, or is it 9, 10? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 8. Okay, good. Just had to make sure. And the reasoning is like, oh, well, because, you know, you're not putting your sustained skills down here anymore. They're set here. I'm trying to remember, did I? No, I didn't. Because this is the first sustained warfare skill I would have been using. Okay. I mean that they would all go into here. And that. Okay. So this is turned on, and as you can see, it takes this much energy. That much is reserved, and can turn it off, turn on, but it's done here. And now this is sustained. This is kept, so it's like if I reload the save, this will stay on. That was not the case previously. If I die, it will stay on. That was not the case previously. I would have turned on manually. So that I like. It's like, this is a good thing to have here. But dropping the slots is dumb. And here's why. Because, well, here, I'll do it this way. Because don't really need that skill. There. So now I'm put, just trying to think, what would actually be? Sure, let's go with that one. Okay, so there's the automaton. That is the Forge's summon. Okay, and it is sustained skill right there. You see? Wait, they just changed order. Oh my god, you can't even get that right. Anyhow, sustained skill. So if I now do this, there it is, right there. Here's the problem. Oh wait, no, that's one. So I was just remembering because I already looked at another character. It has Pierce Retaliation. I can turn it on here, but I think putting it on here. No, wait, here it is. I think here would actually be more efficient because then it applies to you, the summon, and any other summons. But in any case, no, it's an active skill as well. So, and I now have 2 of these. Like, this was added, so I've got a new active skill on this side, and this was at least made into an active skill. I don't remember if it necessarily was, but this is... Actually, no, maybe it was only the 1 skill up here. I don't quite remember. But still, it's like... Every mastery got a new summon skill. Well, yeah, no. I mean, maybe this one was changed, but that means it's both a sustained, it's right there, and an active. So everyone was just gotten 2 new active skills at the same time. They removed 2 skill slots. Your reasoning is false. I'm sorry. And they do try to say, well, you know, we want to balance, you know, how many skills you have access to. Fine, you just gave us 2 new skills and you took away two skill slots. You're not actually doing this very well. So yes, I hope that people do successfully complain about that. I don't really need the... Okay, well, yeah, I'll show you. I don't really feel I need the active. It's like, yeah, empower, so it becomes stronger for a little bit, and some of the things like well, heal the summon for 10% is an active effect. So if I hit that, that'll happen. It's like it currently heal for 8% of its health, reduce the restoration time by 4 seconds. So when it dies, it'll come back sooner. Yeah. I do actually want to look at this. Okay, I don't know how interesting that one would be. In theory, we're also everyone was supposed to get one of these, a passive that would also help with summons. But I don't know for certain. Oh, no, here. So that would be the one here. But the thing is, I'm not sure if Forge got it, because it technically already has things that would impact summons. So yeah, that would impact summons, but I think that has been there. There's this one, which I already had points in this on my other one, so yeah. Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, son of a bitch. Because they also changed up a bunch of items. I've now lost the ability to use that. I should have the points put it back, but they also did this. So I had health regeneration on this, energy regeneration on that. They took those effects away. I also find it interesting, +6 maximum charges, but... Okay, I guess this did move back some. Here, let me see what happens if I do. Okay, well, it's completely gone, but... But yeah, so... I don't know why they would do that. It's like pull off the... Basically, I feel like this was... too mixed an update, personally. Okay. Because it not only... adding the summons is disruptive enough, because you only have so many skill points, and now, I need to take them off this, put on that. I don't even know if that build will work well or not. I mean, it's just pain. That's kind of a pain in the ass. But at the same time, they're just completely changing so many other things. It's like, okay, it felt like when I was experimenting with it on the level 50 character, max level character the other day, it felt like I might be better off completely starting a new character, because too much has changed all at once. And I get it is an early access game, and so stuff like that can happen, but I also feel this should not have been rolled out in the way it was. Like, summons are big enough on their own. Do that. That's fine, but... And with the change to the items, like, they added new affixes, and they also changed them, it seems. That's fine as well, but only add. Don't take them away. Such that now, such that it's now confusing, such that the builds you had might no longer be valid. And also, don't take away skill. Why they would do that, I don't know. Especially because, like, the original Titan Quest, you had 12 slots in total. Because you used 1 through 0 on the number row, and you had left and right mouse buttons independently as well. They took us down to 10 because they were counting in left and right mouse button as oh yeah, that's another change. Because they were keeping left and right mouse button. They basically counted those as except so yeah, here you can actually see that counter went down a little bit. It's not giving you a number, it just shows you the thing, but it's still, that is there. And it also looks like the visual for the blade trap has changed a little bit. It's got this more aggressive blade design on there. There we go. But yeah, too many things all at the same time, and I think some of them are just poor decisions on top of that, so. Yeah, increasing activations I like better. Oh, and it's also, oh yeah, now it can actually show. Oh, okay, that's a talisman. So I don't actually have one that I can use. It would be nice to be able to use it. So this is something that was added that I also do dislike. I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, so we can see I think this is what I was going to talk about. We can see the counter going down. Well, the bar going down, but we don't have the actual numbers. So it's like, plus 24% increased activations. Say, oh, okay, that's nice. What does that actually translate to in numbers? It doesn't tell you anyway. Yeah, 155 Q damage. I have a feeling that if we pay attention, we would see that it's doing more than that. So they're still not calculating that. There isn't, when I look through here, nothing that gives you the total stats for your summons. Like, what is the total bonus to... That's activations. Activations. Damage. Nothing for gain damage. But, yeah, we now also have talismans, which are offhand, so they'd have to go there. And it's like, okay, but that only works when combined... If you're using a weapon that doesn't use both hands. Which, supposedly, they claim that a staff like this... I do not... This is not a knowledge build at all, so I don't want to do that. But in theory, they claim that this is one-handed. I don't recall ever noticing them being one-handed. I thought they were all two-handed, so that doesn't seem quite right to me. But yeah, I just... The talismans, they even likened them to the orbs of Titan Quest 1, which had their own dedicated slot. So I really don't get that. Yeah, these are hitting at like 900 damage. So they still don't have that reflecting what the thing's actually doing. Yeah, maybe if I invest a lot of points into him, into the guy here, it'll be more impactful, but right now it doesn't seem all that impactful. And I also just remember, I don't think this area actually does connect back. Like, this, I think, goes up, explores a little bit over here, but goes there. I think I do need to go back to handle that, though. So let's do it. Yeah, so the main thing that I am going to complain about here, that I would criticize the most, would be the two things of losing the spell slots and also the removing of health and energy regeneration on the potions. They made sense there. You don't necessarily find it on other things that easily. So, yeah, you basically just nerfed that regeneration.
A human!
Thank you.
What?
I was the pig.
I'm not...
There is no pig.
You trick.
By Athena. Bless her heart. I'm gonna take...
That was also true. I like health and energy regeneration. I like that stuff. You know, make me just really, really tanky, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll just one of the ways that you can have that. And it's also, I remember I was building a collection of the potions that specifically had that, and now it's like, nope, all that basically useless. And yeah, it just, I think they were wrong to do that, because it basically means that the builds a lot of people have are suddenly just wrong. Like, and now even impossible to have again. That's not healthy. And I get it. It's early access, but it's still, this isn't healthy. And also, I don't think it was communicated beforehand. I mean, maybe the skill slots technically were, like, they were, you could see it in some videos, but that doesn't mean people would have necessarily noticed that one. The change of the bonuses, the affixes on the potions, I'm fairly confident wasn't mentioned previously, specifically because you kind of couldn't. I mean, they were just saying, oh yeah, we're making changes here to make it better. It's like, well, better's a tad too subjective. And until now, they genuinely, and I don't even, you know what, hang on, give me a moment, let me, there we go. Let me actually try looking. That's not it. Okay, so I just did a search in the changelog for I didn't even get to regen. Don't have the N on there yet. But it does say that there's NG affixes, so plus X NG regeneration. Added more tiers to increase values the amount of compatible items and the drop chains. There's also plus X NG and plus X NG regeneration. Suffix for stabs to free up affix space and give characters more options. Not necessarily, but yeah, and it's also new potion affixes. Health and energy potions have new affixes affecting their charges, duration, effectiveness, recharge, and more. Those are the new, and then we have a list of the new, those are the new currently available affixes. Plus X maximum charges, increased duration, percentage increased duration, increased recharge rate, increased effect amount, charges consumed, maximum charges and less recharge rate. Healing is instant, and healing is instant plus reduced healing amount. And those were all tied to percentages. So there's actually no statement there about losing the regeneration. Yep. And then is mentioning changes to charms, but no, they actually never stated. Even in the changelog, they do not state that potions were losing that, which could mean then that maybe they didn't actually lose them. Technically, it's just they added affixes, and the existing affixes, like, if we assume, and I don't know if this is true, but if we were to assume that there are in fact the health regeneration and energy regeneration are still valid affixes on the potions, in theory, what happened then is it I guess it does connect up. I wasn't certain. Is that the role that gave the regeneration affixes previously now is identified to something else. So I guess the way to put it would be like when Minecraft would change how the seeds, how the world is generated from seeds, and it's like before it was a forest biome and now it's a desert biome. It's something like that, or rather, instead of it being a forest biome, it became a yeah, we can go. It became crap, my mind is still just backfiring on me. Like the plateau or Sahara biome, something that wasn't one of the original biomes.
We spoke briefly back at... I've been so out the poor creature. Wonderful. Now, I'll make sure... I'll keep close eye on your feet.
It's like, I'm good with doing this, but it's also sirens are not good creatures, so I don't like this depiction of them. Oh, I almost forgot. I do need to mention that. hang on, just let this... Okay. And I just want to do that. So something that I think a lot of people are hit by, also with the loss of the skills. Now, I had already changed things here. So this had actually been, instead of left mouse button, this was on key 8. And I think a lot of people got caught by that because if they had like 9 and 10 were left and right mouse buttons, those skills suddenly just disappeared. And so they would have to go in here because there was ability to select 9 and 10 they could have had there, but also input behavior, left mouse button. Mine was on and remains on ability, interact, or move. It seems some people lost. It changed here, and suddenly they were not able to do left mouse button interact, which is kind of significant. That's not a good thing. Which, I mean, that's definitely kind of funny. And I say kind of funny in a way that some people might not like. The reason I say kind of funny is that should have been something that would come up in QA. As in, because they should have people that would be using the different methods. Well, yeah, that's true. But there's probably going to be enough variety amongst the QA people that there would be some that play it the way I do, some that play it other ways. And so then it should have been caught that, hey, this happens, and then either something put into the update to prevent that being an issue, I think some sort of permanent solution there, or it or just something that tells the user, hey, your settings may have changed here, you need to check them before you start playing. But it just occurred to me, it could have been one of those creeping knowledge kind of issues, I guess is a way to put it. In that it's possible that it wasn't noticed, because, and this legitimately does happen, where you could have it, the change came in at a time that it just didn't force an issue, but as it continued to be developed on, it then presented as an issue. The only thing is that because the original change was there, people might not have noticed. If the loss of there's potentially two different things that happened. One is a change to the option here, which I cannot confirm because I had no issue with this. And I don't know what it was previous. If there was a fourth option previously, then maybe that's what people had. And it just changed to something that was then different, so people were getting different behavior. But that was one change. Loss of the skill slots would be another. It could have been the loss of the skill slots happened at one point, and QA would then just, okay, remap, we're fine, make sure it's in the notes. Yeah, not clearly. How the impact of the slots being removed, that is not in the notes. It just says, oh yeah, you lost them. It doesn't say, oh yeah, that means they're just gone. We're not telling you that in-game, and it's not doing anything like that. And it's also funny because I didn't have to change which one this was. This was, the primary attack was the last skill. And it always was. It was the last skill all the time. So, and this one also. So I just lost, 2 in the middle. I lost, the original 6 and 7, essentially. Wait, no, 5 and 6. It's kind of like that. So it just basically compressed from both sides in. So it really obscures that this happens. So you need to go in and change the controls in order to get this back to how it was. And none of that's communicated. So there's that's confusing. But it's possible that it's still that happened and QA was fine. But then if there was a change to that setting about what left mouse button does, if that change then came, that would be, another thing where it's this is, no. And it's like, because it was applied at different times, it might not have impacted people, the QA, as much as when it went to live, and both happened at the same time.
Mortal, slay those that imprison me, and I will grant you a great boon. Thank you, mortal. Freedom tastes sweet. My sisters and I used to rule these sands. Us! Because each siren carries within them. Nemesis demanded that I sing my...
Oh, great son.
This is all, to my knowledge, invented.
I will grant you that.
Thank you.
I'll let that go. So something else. Because, I mean, we'll be seeing more things that happen here. More that changes and such. But also, one announcement this week that was kind of cool. Although we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, because there's potential for it to go odd. Metro 2039 was announced. So the next game in the Metro series. Well, correction, franchise. There's a reason why I'm changing it. Series technically denotes that it is a continuing story. Not necessarily. Because Metro 2033, Last Light, and Exodus do represent a trilogy for RTM, and that seems to have finished. Because you are getting a new main character, because also Exodus ends at like the east end of Russia. I'm just trying to remember what would that actually be referred to as. So like the Pacific coast of Russia, or I guess for the Bering Strait. Anyway, so his story's done, and they're doing something new where you play as the Stranger. So you'll lose a name apparently, unless it's going to be given to us later, but it will be fully voiced, which is definitely a change. But they want it to be more choices having consequences, actions having consequences. And this is for a specific reason. That is where it's like, okay, it'll be interesting to see how this works out. Because A4 Games, that's the original developer, and right now they are spread out, so that they have people working in various countries, but they're Ukrainian. Yeah. That's a bit awkward. Especially since Metro is originally a Russian story. But they're promising it maintains authentically Metro. But it is going to be influenced. Some of it is being influenced by the experience of the war in Ukraine. It's like this will be interesting, because there is the danger with something like that of making it preachy. And this is true for anyone, by the way. It's just in this circumstance, like, oh yeah, you can definitely see that could be a thing. So yeah, because the consequences of of your choices and such, with the context of what you have to do to secure futures, how it's even described in the press release. So it's like, yeah, that's hey, I mean, it makes sense. This is a thing to talk about, but anything like that, because it's gonna have deep personal meaning for them, you have to also be kind of careful with, because you do, as I said, you risk becoming preachy with it. So hopefully they won't. Because that's the kind of thing that can hurt any kind of media, and because it's not just a video game thing. This can happen with movies. This can happen with books, with music, all of it. Okay. And even when it is understandable, it's still like, yeah, but if it reduces the quality of the final story, that's a problem. Hopefully, though, that will not prove the case. you know, I want to go and take care of that because I'm pretty sure that's the last. Yes, that'll be the last one. Then I can finally turn in that mission. But there's also, they told us a little bit more. So it's 2039, so that's some years after. The stranger is apparently plagued by violent nightmares. No, violent waking nightmares even. And this is important because for that reason he's tried to be a recluse. But is now being forced back, for whatever specific reason, to the Metro. The Metro, which has been unified of late. It's like, oh, good, because it originally did have, like, two main factions, as far as political factions, the communists and the Nazis. As I recall, it has been a while, but primarily those two. And then there were the Rangers, which were not a political group per se, but they were, they just tried to protect everyone. And fortunately, they were also most powerful, so they could prevent the communists and Nazis from going to too much war. Although in Metro 2033, that was ceasing to be the case. That those two were either getting powerful enough or just getting brash enough where it's like, we're just gonna do this anyway. Well, now they have been, for 2039, they will be, I think there's a waypoint, waypoint nearby. They are going, the Metro is going to be unified under the Nova Right, so New Right, under Hunter, who is the Ranger that you see and goes missing towards the beginning of 2033. So, yeah, he's returned as apparently the bad guy. Also talks about how there being a lot of propaganda and misinformation in the,
Carrying too much.
Okay, so hang on just a second. In theory, I do this. Yeah, and that sped that up. I can do that, sped up again. There we go. Not really worth it, but just wanted to show that. There we go. I knew there was one nearby. So yeah, he's back. And this will be interesting, but it is also, it will be interesting, the whole, how they might present the propaganda and misinformation, which is also, in a way, the most dangerous thing for potentially damaging the story. Just as far as you might oversell the power of the propaganda and misinformation.
Welcome.
So it's like, you know, be careful with that. You don't want to make everyone that listens to it just into an idiot. And just blindly accepting all of it. Unless you do set up that, hey, they've been fed this for so long, that is what they actually believe. Like, you can't do that. It's just the whole, you know, be a little careful with it. Who is it? Or did I already sell the talisman? That may have been on the previous one, so I already sold it. Okay. Oh, wait, no, here it is. Okay.
Third time you've got me out of a
doing my
scrape.
best.
Honestly,
That's true, I technically have found all of them as well, so I can do that.
These beaches are filled with so many ruins.
have you seen? But I broke my leg in the. Yes! At least now I have. You're a damn fine hunter. These beaches are right present.
All that turned in. Let's also sell that.
How long will our supplies last here?
Is there another? No. Okay.
Need me to look after anything?
Oh, don't have any shields, so that won't do. Actually, do want to look through those, but this, well, yeah, it's just there. And now that there. Okay. Oh, and I'm already into just the health potions. Okay. But I think I got enough here that is a good question of, is there going to be any regeneration? This is also the question, maybe I want to change this. Yeah, that's fine. Nope, it looks like this is all that they actually just dropped completely health regeneration from the potions and energy regeneration. I deeply disagree with that. Because that is you just destroyed so many builds that people had. So yeah. Yeah, I don't mind putting it in there. Yeah, I know it's only one, so it's not going to do too much there, but still. There. I do want to keep going on this character, but I'm genuinely curious about that talisman. So here's what I'm going to do. Okay, he does have a staff, so we can do that. I think I've shown this character before anyway. So I just want to see, does it, because you see him holding the staff in both hands. Yeah, so there are the wisps. Have them there. Right.
I'm told you're the one
There. Staff. Cannot equip. That's what I thought. What are they talking about with the talismans? Talismans are a new offhand weapon type. They often inherit bonuses to NG, which had been hard to come by in the past. Okay, but alright. They are utility offhand items providing you with energy and buffs. Okay. Okay, but yeah, so it's like, hey, they go great with staves, except they can't be used with staves. There was something that did state that they went with staves. So it's like, at best, it would be like in here. But it's like, yeah, no, that this is... But it's also silly because of the whole, stating that they were great for, for magic users and people that would want to use staves, talismans are great for them. Oh, you can't use them with the staffs. What's the point? Oh, but also you can see they are still active. So. Alright, I'm not sure exactly how much further I will go. I have a busy day today. I also learned that it is going to be earlier than, like, the main thing that'll be having me busy is going to be earlier than it originally would have been. So, anyhow. And this is just pig. Oh, no, but you are so. I think you might be able to sell to him even when it's not a pig, even when he is still a pig. Because he also, ate of the cursed fruit. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It will be interesting to see what kind of changes we might get, what kind of additional, what patch we might see following this one up, because I do think that there is sufficient backlash with some of it that hopefully they will. I'm just mainly the whole bring back 2 slots and bring back health and energy regeneration on potions where they make sense. Alright. That's actually true. Do that. Do that too. Well. There, because now I got access to all these. Want that. To be clear, I picked warfare as being the second thing here specifically because I want the healthy generation. It's not that I specifically like this idea, but I think it's going to be best to help me remember I want to use both of these. Because this helps me, but this helps the summons. Alright, and with that, I can do that. Okay. Okay, they are on, so yeah, I'm definitely using up a lot of the energy. But I should have quite appreciable health regeneration for myself at this point. Yeah, 55.8 is pretty good. And it doesn't say, but he also should be benefiting from that same health regeneration. Yeah, look at how gnarly this is now. And in theory, these are also getting some of the benefits because they should still count as summons. Lesser summon, so that should still be considered a summon. My brain just turned off. There's something more there, but in any case, yeah, it's like that. That it should prove a very good and powerful thing. Oh, another one of those. That's another change that was put in there, that apparently we can now summon the blade traps up to 30 meters away. Okay. Total health of... Okay, but he is regained, so... Although, yeah, he just lost it. Yes. Come over here. So on the one hand, I'll be honest, I don't find the automaton to be all that impressive. Again, the other character, the one that I just had up to look at the talisman on, it attacks fast, but I'm not convinced it does much damage. Even with quite a lot of, like I completely filled out the bonus damage modifier. I completely filled this one out, and it's still not that impressive. Now, it is also true, level 15 plus 10 to all enemies, so the enemies are tough, but it still is, I feel it should be more impactful, but then it's at the same time, Forge is already so powerful with just the regular devices that I don't think I can actually complain too strongly. And I'd been saying for a while that I thought that it was really powerful. So the automaton not being all that impressive, it's kind of fair. That was not interesting. Although I will say this. Them constantly... Because this isn't the first time that they've added abilities after the fact. After masteries are put in. They need to start adding more ability points somehow. This is getting annoying, because it's like, I can't have my normal build, and it's like, oh yeah, let's add the summon in there. It can't work that way, because you don't have enough points for that. You'd always have to take away, so you're destroying the other build to make it this one, but to just experiment is lousy. It's kind of lousy to have to do that. But there's also the reality that if it's like, oh, we'll just start a new character try, it's like, yeah, but then I'm building around it. So it's like, it might be poorer, but I'm adapting, so I'm not actually finding if it is better or worse. I'm just finding out, can I adapt? So it's... Whereas if you just give the additional points, and then that'll let people experiment, and maybe they find that, hey, for how I was playing, yeah, this is a nice addition. And others might find that, no, for how I was playing, it's crap. I'll just use the points what I would already use in it. Because, like I said, he's not that impressive. He doesn't do that much damage, man. It's more like he'll just be a bullet sponge. Which can still be helpful, but not necessarily. And it's also, I don't really care for... Like, you can do things where... yeah, on activation, this attachment deals so much damage in the area and stuff like that. It's like, okay. I mean, I get that, but it's just, I don't...
All right. Glaucus said that there's...
It's not that impressive to begin with, and I don't think doing those... Cause how much? Yeah, a lot of those take 2 skill points. And I'm already like maxed out on the other character, so I'm not taking things. I'm not going to take things away to put in there. But also because of the whole that whole situation with the so it didn't, and did technically take away skills. It took away skills from any sustained, because all those sustained abilities got reset. So in a way, that actually is even worse. So it's like we took away your build, and you can either put the abilities and put the skill points back in to how you had them, or try this thing. It's like, okay, well, I'll try this thing. But it might not be that good, and it's like, well, you're just adapting around that. So it is like, I don't have on the other character this thing spec'd out quite the same way. To a certain extent, though, that's also okay. Because, you know, I already knew that, you know, the double activation is all I really need. Although I did do the whole thing with the okay, they connect up later. Crap, my brain just turned off. The thing with the Pierce retaliation being on that instead of on this, especially because it got the wisps then, so it's like they get that as well. But I think I may have turned on the, you know, I must have turned it on. The Storm Mastery's sustained skill. I must have turned that on as well. I didn't put any points in that because I spent the points on the summons, which are not impressive. So actually, yeah, you know what? I'll do that before ending the stream, the video. I'm gonna go back in and actually get rid of. The wisps are actually kind of neat. Like I can see a way to make them actually pretty useful. But it still is. It's like, yeah, no, the thing I already had figured out, the build I already figured out, is better than what these things are offering. So I'd either have to just adapt around them or not bother with them. And I think for that character, not bothering with them might be best. We'll see how this one goes, because I still got time building this up. And I don't think Warfare on the active skill side is going to take as much from what I'm doing in my normal build. That's another talisman. Nope. Yeah. Bonus to all speed, nice. But it would be taking away bonus from damage as well. No. Nope. Want both those. Well. No, because that summon damage is also going to be for the traps. I don't think it's too far to the next waypoint. Okay, well, I don't remember if both paths take me to the same place or not here. Okay, they do. And one other thing that at least some people have pointed out, you don't have any ability to change the AI for the summons, which somebody pointed out because there's at least one side quest where you have to guide one of these turtles to a location, but the summons will just keep attacking the turtle. It's like you're supposed to guide it and then kill it, and it's like the summons are breaking that, and it's like, oh. But in the original game, that wouldn't have been a problem because you could set them to be passive, assertive, reactive, defensive. So it's like if you were attacked, then they will attack, and aggressive. And aggressive is where they just go out and find things. That's what this guy is currently doing, it seems. But you can't change that. So in theory, for that mission, what you'd have to do is just turn off the summon and then turn it back on. Which is actually really stupid. Because it is saying that, hey, you have to control these abilities that now you can't even control via the main bar. You have to go here, there, click, back, and then it's like, yeah. Okay, hang on. Let's... I know that there is an enemy that's going to spawn in. See? Although that's right. It is just a, that practically done. Nope. I do not want that. Oh, it did kill the automaton. Oh no. I'll have to go back to what was the bulk of my damage before. There's a reason I only put 1 point in there. It is not that impressive. Maybe the other summons are more impressive, but... That's what I wanted. Thank you. So I will be ending shortly. But I'm gonna sell this stuff.
Yeah, another welcome. You're welcome. Be wary beyond these walls. Pirates, restless dead, Ichthians. Worse.
No, I don't think the talisman is all that interesting.
Lord Glycost.
I mean, at least this one does have the summon stuff, which the summons are awesome. They really are quite powerful. There. I'll do that. Okay. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. Gone. Definitely one in here. There. So now I'll have an additional wisp running around, but it's also because of this, they will have the pierce retaliation. I could actually even push that up a little bit. But do I want to instead... So if I actually do that... I mean, I do like the whole 2% chance hitting a random enemy in the... Every 2 seconds, 50% chance, sorry. But this would actually benefit those things, so... So this I wouldn't want to use because if they're intangible, then the Pierce retaliation won't work. Let's actually, if I do that on a point there, yeah, it's still kind of low there, but there, because I don't really need that. But yeah, now I've got a third one there. So the idea being, I put down a whole bunch of stuff. They can fly around. Every time they get hit, they're also dealing damage. Oh yeah, and also, what would it be here? Increase elemental damage, okay. Okay, but I had already put stuff in that because it would help the the devices, since this is also with Forge. Okay. So then actually, do I take that back, but I don't know where I'd put it then. So, yeah. Yeah, so the piece would only affect me and that. Although, you know what? Yeah, let's... There. If I had one more active point, it would be interesting, because then I could pull that off, put it on here, and then get rid of all this and only focus on this. You can just have a whole bunch of them running around. But that's not what I can presently do. Oh well. Alright. Yeah, so I think that may actually, for what I'm doing, work out the best. Where these, I got 4 running around. It's yeah. I think for what I'm for how I like to play, that's gonna work out best. So yeah, I mean it's, or I just drop all that and go to the other, go to being how I had it before. But no, I think that actually will, because the Storm Nimbus sustained, not that impactful for how I play that character. The Wisps, now there's going to be more impact. So it's largely what I'm doing is trading Storm Nimbus for the Wisps. But I have also adjusted the Forge sustained to better help the Wisps. But still, the devices, the traps, that's the main thing because of the double activation. So yeah. But I do not know about... I guess can... This is the... I'd be felt like the Cave Walker. Yeah, let's look at this guy too. Because I think... I don't remember what the second mastery is, but part of it should be Earth. Yeah. Okay, so he was Earth and Rogue. Alright. Yeah, and look, 24. So it like just turned off and stripped away that much. Okay, so there's the Quarter Dweller. Okay, so that's what it stripped everything out of. Then I didn't even get far enough here, but that's the Shadow Clone, so that's the summon here. Sure, let's 1 point in that, 1 point in that. So now don't need either of them there. Let's hit that. I think, yeah, I think I was also using that as well. Alright, so let's just see. Oh, that has a limited lifespan. Okay. But it'll keep coming back. Sure, we'll do that. And let's focus on this. Yeah, so it can go boom when it would be destroyed. That could be done. Nice. But let's focus on this. So I'm always dealing with some amount of fire damage. So if I do that, then this will benefit from the added damage. I have no idea how much damage it's actually going to be doing. Let me just... I don't think that this actually has anything on it that's all that interesting. It's more, do I want to up this as well? See, I think I actually was using this, but it was mainly for like this. Maybe... Okay, it doesn't have anything for defense. Got it. But then, yeah, let's do that. So now it's just there. Although, how much? Yeah, I'm not too bad on the health there. Oh no, that's interesting. Huh. It just is always... What? I'm confused by this now. Hang. Is this not sustained? Or is it just cost us 50 initial? Put that there. Okay, so I actually need to always summon this thing. It's not sustained. So it's not one of the regular things then. Has 12 seconds elapsed yet? Okay. Okay. Get rid of that then. I may get how it will occasionally be nuts. But that's only occasionally. So... Oh wait, no, that's poison resistant, so I may have also been using that. That's also gonna be nice. But let's just do like that. So that thing should be quite powerful now. It's been so long, I barely even remember how some of these work. Sure, we'll just do that.
Hey, you made it to camp. Do you
I didn't realize I hadn't... Okay, did not realize I hadn't even gotten this guy that far. I just want to... I just want to see what all... How the core dweller stacks up. Boy, it would be nice if he actually were attacking anything. Oh my god, he's literally not attacking a single damn thing. What? I know exactly why I died there, by the way. It's because... And that I hate. The invisible dude that's not actually invisible, he's just gray colored. He just he does have a one-hit kill on him.
It'll be ready soon.
Or just, it can do so much damage that it, in effect, is a one-hit kill. By the way, this is another change. So I lost some experience, but if I just go here and hit that, get it back. But you need to attack things. Thank you for finally doing that. Wow, that thing is actually really freaking weak. Look at how much... Look at how low its health is already. With all those points in that. Damn. Alright. I'm just trying to think, how do I want to... Or do I even want to bother? You know, well... I guess, yeah, we can put it there. Except that. That's actually kind of fun. Wait, what? What? The heck? I have no idea. Okay. Sure. That was very weird, though. So, hang on, let me just... Okay, so if I do that, it's draining my energy, but is actually, in theory, making him stronger. But it's still, look at how... Oh, well, that's actually kind of nice. Because it is also triggering that chance. So I guess it... Oh, but it's already dead. It's already dead. Maybe there's a way that it works. But damn, the core dweller seems useless. Oh my god, that's disappointing. So yeah, what that's telling me then, based on that, the shadow thing being a the rogue being not sustained, so you need to constantly do that yourself. The only thing that's left is the war banner, which is just, it plops down and then you have an aura from it. None of these look that interesting. I mean, maybe if you can somehow spec very heavily into summon damage, because none of them seem to be doing. I mean, the core dweller should be a tank, okay? It should be one of the hardest things to destroy. It was almost killed by trash mobs. Well, actually, no, correction. It was killed by trash mobs. Because it also had no damage. And I gave it damage. I put points in damage. It's worthless. Which means then that I think that it's just the wisps on this guy. That might be nice. Because there's just a large number of them. They got the pierce retaliation and they're just going to sting the shit out of things. That's it. But otherwise, I am completely focused on the traps. That's not a healthy. These summons are not in a healthy place. These summons are not all in a healthy place. They don't have the impact that they should. I mean, the Earth Dweller, the Core Dweller, in theory, if you're constantly channeling, which means you're not moving, in theory that's nice. But even then, it still was nearly killed by a trash mob, and one of them. It's, and I don't think that character, because, well, actually no, he is at max level technically. When I last played him, he's at max level, so in theory, it's possible that I do have enemy levels turned up, but it's still, okay, yeah, let's check on that, It still shouldn't be that weak, though, so no, I which means then that my feeling on this whole update is basically it was a waste. It was just steps back.
You made it to camp.
Which sucks.
Do you have a moment?
That is not where it should be. It's like, yeah, you gave us summons, but they're not that interesting. Okay, +3. 3. That's it. That's not enough to make for this. For it to be that trashy. No, I'm not. The wisps are nice, but nothing else seems great. Nothing else even seems all that good to me. Wow. Yeah, this feels a step back. This feels a step back because we lost things on the potions. We lost 2 skill slots. Summons are not that significant. If they had added additional skill points to go along with this, but no, you still have the same number of skill points, just having to be dispersed among more things, so you are weakened if you're using a summon compared to what you had before. No, this is absolutely a step back, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it's give us back spell slots, undo the shit to the potions, just add affixes. You don't need to remove affixes, add affixes. Talismans, give us a special slot for those. Why you're bothering with it being offhand? It's like, so it's going to be offhand. It's like, these things are great for mages. So put an offhand with a dagger or a sword, because that's what mages use. A sword. That makes perfect sense. No, put those somewhere. This could end up being like the last update that Darkspore got, which is a reference I doubt many people will get. Darkspore was also an action RPG. It was a lot of fun, but and it was already struggling, in part because it was always online. That's just how it was. You didn't need to play with other people. You could, but once the servers were down, it died. But it was already dying some, and they put out an update that made a lot of significant changes. One of them, you had 2 healers in that game. You had 2 characters that could heal, and that was it. One that had to do as a channeling thing. The other, it could just blanket in an area. It would heal. But also had this other effect where if there was it would cleanse. If there was a debuff that got cleansed, it would heal that character more. Okay? They changed it so then the amount of healing was actually dependent on the number of debuffs, such that if there were no debuffs on a character, it would not be healed. So you went from 2 reliable healers down to only 1. That was so damaging to the game. because it's like now build, because in that game you would actually play as you would select a squad of 3 characters that you would just swap between, and they could in fact, well, the sustained healing couldn't be applied to another one of those characters, but it's like you would swap to one and just hang on that while the others heal, while the others are healing in the background essentially. But they went from 2 reliable healers down to 1 then. And it just broke things. I lost interest because, like, okay, now some of my builds I can't use because I don't have healing anymore. So it made it where there were a few things I could do that felt effective. And then and they were already struggling. Here's the worst part, though. I don't know if the forums are still up, but I remember when reading through the patch notes and all that, they were talking about how this is the first half of an update. The second half has more balance changes and new heroes. So they were going to add new content to the game that in theory would also include new healers. But they were already trending down, and that half the update wasn't completely balanced correctly because they basically removed a healer that this was supposed to be getting other healers, but we hadn't gotten that yet. And it just collapsed. The trend, it didn't correct the trend, it collapsed. If they had done the full update, they had waited a little bit longer and tried to do the full update, I think it would have had a better chance. Or if they just hadn't done what that specific thing with that healer at that time, could have been better. But I feel that this is like that update. I don't think the game is on a downward trend, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying they might have been tuning this for the Dream. I think that's the next mastery that's coming that is going to be summon focused. So that might be awesome. And so they're just putting things in here that'll make sense. It'll be good when we get that mastery. But right now, I think it's all steps back. I think all of it is steps back. I don't think that the summons are that impactful. Okay, I mean, the one thing that it might do for everyone but Forge is their bullet sponges. Is that they will be able to take hits so you don't have to. But no, so Cordrella is supposed to be a tank, and trash mobs annihilated it. Okay? Lowest level mobs. True, +3. But +3 levels it shouldn't be that much. That should not be that significant, and it was wrecked. And it was up against 5 or 6, it may have killed 1 or 2. Right? And I put stuff into damage. It should have been doing a decent amount of damage, and it still got annihilated. These are not where they need to be of any use to existing masteries, in my opinion. I do not doubt people will be able to build around them so that they are nice, but then it's okay, they're nice because you're making them nice. It's that whole adaptation thing versus them just fitting in. I guess another way to put it is they don't feel equal to other builds. Their presence does not feel equal to other builds, to other skills that you have to take away from in order to use them. So yeah, this feels like it is a step back. The Dream stuff may justify it ultimately, but that would only be for the Dream mastery. For the other masteries, right now I don't see a reason why. I don't see a reason to use it. The balance is not where it should be for those. That being said, I'll probably keep the automaton around on the stream character. On this guy. I'll probably keep him around because with just 1 point in there, it's not that big a deal. I think I only have him at 1 point. It's not that bad. But it is not a damage dealer. It is not well, I guess it was taking a decent amount of damage. But it is not really a damage taker either. The main thing is going to be the traps, the devices. The sentry. So that's the sentient crossbow, essentially, and the blade trap. That is what will do the damage. That is what is going to actually clear mobs. The automaton is not going to do any of that. It's not going to do any of that. It's just, something running around doing a little bit of extra damage while it's up. But otherwise, no. And 1 point to have that isn't so bad. But with the Cordrella there on that Ash Stalker character, useless. Because it is not taking enough damage, it is not dealing enough damage to justify its existence compared to just trying to be as powerful as putting as much having as much damage as possible on the main character. It's not worth it. So, all right, this has been a much longer video than I had hoped it would be. As I said, I do have a busy day today, but I mean, I got time. Everything will work out fine. But this is. All right. as I did say earlier, it'll be interesting to see what the devs end up doing in response to this. Because in theory, they will... Don't... As much as I've just criticized the summons, don't do those yet. Don't touch those yet. That can wait until the Dream Mastery. Let that get out there. Learn from that then, and then maybe come back and adjust some of the summons. Or just make the summons better. Buff them. But right now, I don't think that the trade in skill points is worth it at all for summons. I mean, it's like... Think about even the other character. The level 50 or whatever character that is. Yeah, it's level 50. With the wisps. Where did I get those points from? Something that character isn't going to strongly benefit from because the lightning beam thing, that doesn't help so much with the traps. Main damage dealer. So, yeah. Yeah, you can wait on that. Bring back the 2 skill slots, though. Because, I'm sorry. It's like... Here, let me... I just want to... As part of this, we've removed 2 skill slots from the UI to maintain our currently intended balance and access to abilities. We removed 2 skill slots at the same time you added 2 skills to every character that has 2 masteries. Some people are playing this game with no masteries. Good for you, you're insane. But it's like, we're giving you 2 new active skills, and we're taking away your ability to have 2 skills from what, accessible. That's stupid. That is. Bring those back. Bring back the health and energy regen on the potions. That's what I'd say. The rest of it, I'm not necessarily happy where it is, but I'd say leave it. That might be... The other stuff can be in a place where it's like, this needs to be tweaked, not a reverse course. The regens taken off of potions and the 2 skill slots, those are... No, you need a reverse course. I do definitely believe those were completely the wrong decisions. Not good enough decisions, wrong decisions. So, with that, I'll see you next time.